Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, hello everyone.
There you go. AJ
Guys.
is here.
And we are live.
The last minute
Hello.
it came off.
In the nick of time.
Yeah, what did you do, AJ?
I don't know. Suddenly it just went off.
Right on point.
Just
Anyway,
nice.
guys, hey, thanks for what's this attending the whole thing together. Like it's been a while. We have not been jamming in the studios, but we've been producing lockdown videos. So I thought that's like this today we come together and let's just chit chat, run through the whole band, whatever we went through. Got some questions from the fans. Some of these questions which I've collected like over the past few months. Some of them are asking about what happened, and there's a lot of questions. So we'll just run through some of them. But in actual, it's just going to be a chat. This is on the Music Mountain platform. It's a music online lessons platform which I'm creating with Intan. So we are marketing it this way. So hope you guys, let's have fun for some of the questions that will be out right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything to say, Moots? Anything you want to say before we start?
I'm hearing some of the chats. Sorry, I'm hearing Pla. Okay,
And
there goes
AJ went
AJ
off
again.
That's what happened.
Oh, there's Farah here.
Did we lose AJ again?
Okay, where's AJ? Let me add him lah.
No, okay already.
Unify
Okay,
ke?
Hey, I see Farah on the chat saying that she can't hear anything.
I can't hear anything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Guys,
usually resetting the browser helps.
Yeah, resetting the browser helps. I mean, we all should be fine. So, okay, let's just run through some of the questions lah. Okay, the first question, I think, who started off the band? And where's Moots?
And where's
This
Moots?
was actually directed to Moots.
And then he disappears.
Apa tu?
No, wait. I thought we could start this off because okay, look. So I was clearing stuff off in my mom's place, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't know my mom like actually framed this up. It was hidden behind the cupboard. And as we were clearing up, I found this. Like, you remember this, guys?
Oh my God! That's the first photo shoot.
Uno with dreadlocks.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
This was our actual first photo shoot, okay?
I think so.
It was. Because you know what I mean? Not because Uno was trying to be cool with the dreadlocks. I was like trying to be cool with the spiky hair. And there was the sixth member there.
Yeah, the sixth member.
Yes.
So I still remember.
I just don't know why all of us were looking down.
It was cool to look down.
It was cool not to look at the camera, I think.
Right?
Yeah, I think that was it.
So this was actually
Oh God.
our first album. It was our first poster that we did for the first album. And I got you guys, actually you guys all signed it.
Cool.
Oh, really?
It has like, remember like all our first few shows?
Nice.
Oh,
Like Rock the
didn't notice
World.
I think I made that poster lah.
Yeah. You did make the poster. Really.
Oh, it's how
This
long
is
ago?
like the original Pop Shuvit logo, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Actually,
Moots,
looking at
how we started off the band.
right? This is like the first. Oh, and then
It's classic.
remember this? We actually hang on. This was the graffiti we sprayed while we were making the slip away video under Taman Tun. Remember? There was a walkway under the Taman Tun Park.
Yeah.
Uno set up and everything.
Yeah.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
So I think it's been many years, but yeah, we actually got a whole bunch of people. Edwin set that up.
Look at
They
the
all went
email.
down,
Wait,
they did
pc.jaring.my.
shot
No one
video
uses
down
Jaring.
there. Is that walkway even still there, Rudy?
I think so. I think it's still there. It's still there. But I don't know. I mean, we don't know whether the graffiti is still there.
Probably not lah.
I doubt.
Yeah, it's not.
Someone should go and check.
Because
And
I
have a look.
literally just found this like a week ago.
So I
So cool.
because there's a sixth member there, Moots. Maybe tell us
Yes.
if you can remember how did we start off? There was some history. I think this started off in UK. That thought process.
We started off
Does
with
it go?
you lah.
No lah.
It did.
You see,
Okay,
I
I started it.
AJ, JD were your connections before they were mine. What?
Okay, so
But the
but
concept started out with us doing that Poetic Ammo show.
Right.
What was it? 1999.
yeah, but you wanted
Something like that.
you wanted a band, and you were with Point that time. You were doing some shows with him, and then you came to us like, "Hey, Rudy, let's form the band." I remember that.
Yeah, well, that was the hype with Limp Bizkit and what was that song? The one from Mission Impossible and all that at that point in time, right?
Yeah, that song.
But I think it really started when they did a New Year's show in Sunway. Remember, was it? And
Yeah, it's a skate show. It was a
Really
skateboard
great, right? I know AJ couldn't make it. Roseanne played bass, but it was like a New Year's show,
New Year's Eve
playing their
show, yeah.
songs, and then the next thing you know, they were like, "Let's do this, hip hop, rap, rock thing." And then I got you guys in, and then that time AJ joined in, and we recorded Jump, and then Uno, did you scratch on Jump?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
We brought him. We
I
brought
think
him.
Yogi was the one that pretty much. I guess it was Yogi lah. In all Yogi kind of put that whole thing together for us in terms of like production. He got us Greg, I would have to say.
Yeah.
He got us the deal, have to say. And he was the one that spoke to Sunanda and asked if there was any, anyone who could do this. It was essentially supposed to be Sunanda to spin on it, but he said that was not his thing. Then they asked for like someone new, it was either Faz or Uno, and they said Uno was more rock oriented, and that's when Uno came in. But Uno was gangster lah that time. We had to buy him decks.
Yeah. He was the sectionist lah.
He want to join the band. He wanted to be sectionist.
Can or not?
Right? I mean, that's how it started. And I think
yeah.
that's when the first single came, and Point joined the group. And
Oh, thanks, Mohan.
then,
Yeah,
take a look around. That's
Take a
the
look
song,
around.
Mohan. That was the song, yeah. And
Izal's
guess-
here.
what's up, Izal?
Yo.
I think it's that show that we did at the where's that in front of Shangri-La? What do you call that? I remember because we were backing up Poetic Ammo.
Hotel lobby?
Poetic Ammo. Shoot, what's the name of that place?
What
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember.
Shangri-La. Beach Club. Beach Club.
We did
sorry.
Beach Club. We did that.
Yeah.
Beach Club. Yeah.
I mean,
That
let's
was
be honest,
just
Point
before.
was part of the band for a whole year, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I
That was a
think so.
lot after
It was
that.
in the whole first album, right?
Yeah.
So I remember like
Off the band.
yeah. I remember Moots called me and said, "Hey, we need to form a band."
Yeah, it was okay. In all honesty, it was probably my idea, but it
Yeah.
was always something that I started off with everybody else. Because Rudy and I were schoolmates. We went to college together. We were always into this band thing, and I think there's no such thing as starting off a band. I think a band is these 5 people right here, and I think that was when. I think Uno was the one who told us, like, you're never a band until, you feel like you're a unit together, and at that, I would say that point Uno joined us as a band member was when we probably became a band, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct or not?
And we still had to pay for it.
We had to
Pay for the decks.
because we
The missing link.
It's true, right? I think at that point in time we were still like signed to EMI. We were neither here nor there, trying to figure ourselves out. We were just kind of this offshoot of the project. And you know what? I mean, all said and done, I think I still have a good relationship with Point. We're still good friends.
Really?
Yeah, we are. I think let bygones be bygones, right? So we're still good friends.
Yeah.
We all had a
Too long.
We'll
Yeah,
get to that story
so
in a
long
bit.
ago,
lah.
lah.
let's
So long
take it a
ago.
little bit. But yeah,
It's
coming
true,
back to this, I think that moment we actually became a band was probably second album lah,
Here now.
Yeah.
right? I think it was that
Yep.
moment when all of us walked into the studio with in Synchro Sound and met Greg. That was the moment we all knew we were all in a band and not just sessionists or whatever, because I don't think he wanted to work with a bunch of sessionists, right?
Yeah, but before we went into the studio with the second album, do you guys remember the names that we were thinking about before we even chose the name Pop Shuvit?
Nose
I don't remember.
Grind.
Nose Grind. Yeah, yeah.
Nose Grind was one of them lah.
I still have the
tricks lah.
I still have the EMI contract that stated
Oh.
Crossfire Renegade.
Oh,
Yeah, we want to be Rage Against the Machines. Crossfire Renegade. I actually just found all our contracts. They're with me, by the way.
Yeah, it's strange lah. So I mean, and I think like original members, I think the 5 of us, we're still here together. Point was
6 plus 1
yeah,
point,
6,
point
5
original point. That was Pop Shuvit 0.5. Pop Shuvit 1.0 is us.
Yeah, you know. So, but do you remember this? Who signed this?
Pietro Felix.
Oh yeah, Pietro
Yeah.
Felix.
technically, yeah.
Pietro pushed us. He was at that time the new A&R, and he actually pushed us through to sign us. So big head up to Pietro. Pietro actually got a sign.
Nice.
I remember that we went to the SS2 Jam Studio,
Jam.
right?
Yeah.
We had to do
And-
we had to like audition.
Like an audition, and was Paul? Did Paul?
Studio in
Moss
SF2?
go there?
Paul
Paul
Moss came
Moss,
too.
yes, Paul
Yeah.
Moss.
Paul Moss
Yeah,
was
Paul
there
Moss
as well.
came. Paul Moss came, and then he said like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you guys," and I think we played Slip Away.
Oh.
Did we, AJ?
Yeah.
That was probably the
Jump,
only
jump.
original song.
It was Jump. It was Jump, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an audition.
Actually, just before he left as head of, I think, EMI or Warner at that point in time, and then joined Air Asia, was Tony. Tony actually told Darren and told Darren to sign us up to EMI.
Tony Fernandez.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I remember actually
Oh,
meeting him.
really?
Yeah, at that
I didn't
that
know
time.
this.
This was like this was just before we had the album, but when we did Jump.
What?
Oh.
It was like a press conference for AIM at that point in time. And it was like his last press conference. It's like,
Damn.
that was like before he left the music industry. And I remember Darren and Izam introduced Point and I to him and said, look, this was, these are the guys. Oh, yeah, you should sign them up, blah, blah, blah. I told them to sign you up, whatever. He could have been lying, I don't know. But so as far as he told me, he told he kind of like made that call to sign us up as well.
Cool. I mean, this is something I mean, we all did know. I
I've
don't know
never
about the
heard.
rest. It's something nice to hear,
Did they say why?
I don't know,
Why
but
sign
if
us
someone
up?
came up to you also, you just talk some bullshit also, right? Yeah. Be bullshit lah. We don't know, right? But for me, at that, it was like 20 years ago. It seemed like a big deal lah.
Yeah. Let's do a shout out. Ray Clowns. Thanks, man.
Ray.
I think
He's always been there.
Now influence. Thank you.
Chun Wai.
Chun Wai, brother. Rock and roll lah.
Yeah, man. Nice to have you on board. Darren.
Darren, honest mistake.
Darren.
Mistake, man. How you guys lah, bro? And I have hello Uno pula. This one Indot says hi Uno. Uno, special message for you.
I look.
I think
Yeah.
we did it like 10 years ago to go and see our favorite artists, right? Like the legends that have always inspired us, and looks like no better time than now that the music that we were influenced by, the kind of like lyrics, messaging is more relevant now than it was before, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
It's crazy,
speak
right?
a little bit more about that.
I mean, I think most of us have share like, okay, my recollection is like, okay, the reason why I didn't want to join the band at first was because no, I mean, like, it was interesting. It was definitely because I came from a school called Players Universe, and we had a bunch of us who kind of like session for other groups as well, and some of us played for. I mean, like, T-Bone was with Too Fat, and then Fuzz was with Titari, and then Caesar with Ali TK, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to do something different because I always came from like playing in a band. Like, I used to drum. So when this opportunity came, it's like, okay, yeah, but for me, a band has to start off organically, and somehow, or other, like, because of the nature, the labels and everything suddenly all like lined up and whatnot. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try it out, but
Establishment lah.
That's you, lah,
and that's also the reason why, like, I think, like, the band Red Chili
Hesitant,
Machine has been a very heavy influence on the band as well. Is it like the nature of the messaging and everything? So, but like Moot said, it's like, I think when it comes, as the journey progressed and we come to the second album, everybody came into that Synchro Sound studio with a fresh mind, knowing that, hey, we're a band now. So that's when, I mean, like, I agree. I think that's where the real Pop Shuvit journey started lah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, they always say, the first album is where we're still figuring out our way, figuring out who we are, figuring out our identity, and usually by the second album is who we really find and discover and realize who we are as a band lah.
Yeah, I mean, I admit it lah. We were poser lah first album.
Hey, we just wanted to play, man. That was it, lah.
Yeah. But one thing is, why I feel like, this band is so unique. I think because regardless of how we started or regardless of the circumstances, right? The intention was pure. Everybody wanted to play. Everybody wanted to have fun. Everybody kind of like, wanted to kind of like carve that journey, that organic musical journey. And I think that's one of the reasons why we had that whole audio with Point as well.
Yeah.
I remember. Right?
I think
kind of a different direction.
It was like trying to figure out where we wanted to be, what we wanted to become, and at that point in time, maybe I guess for some of us who were like, for me, I went through the whole ammo thing for like two years before I met you guys, and then I guess Rudy and I have always been friends. We were always very hungry, but I think it was good to have a very different perspective on how we should become an artist, right? Because for us, we were like ready to go the pop route, release an album. That's what we wanted to do. But I think having Uno's mindset in there was like, maybe we need to go back, take a step back, do the gigs, do the rounds, figure out our identity, figure out who we are, what we want to do as a band. And I think that was probably the best 1 year. It was actually a year of just doing random gigs, for no money and meeting the rest. That's how we met Edwin. That's how we met John. That's how we met Ming. That's how we met all the great friends from bands that we know right now. And I think that was us maturing and going through band puberty, I guess, right? That was it, right? I mean, right? Just going there, just doing shows, chilling out gigs, and having a sense of belonging, having a community that we could be a part of, as opposed to which made us a lot different. Because I think, like, I always believe that culmination of all of that during the hype that Too Fat was having, and Innuendo, and the whole Hotlink tours and all that, we were always like, the opening act, right? But I think the combination of us doing a year out and just doing gigs, and then I don't know, was it Kuantan Parade or something that we actually rocked the show, right? Like, for the first time ever as an opening, we were a shitty opening act, right? I was bad on stage as an MC and frontman, and we were all over the place with our songs. But I think the gigs kind of gave us that level of coming together, right? And I think it all culminated at that moment when we met Yanis lah. We had a proper manager. We met that Yanis wasn't in.
But you know, guy, I mean, the question here is like, did we ever think about quitting? I think there was a time. Remember, we were. I think the first album just
We
came out.
always think about quitting, bro, because it's a
Yeah,
good music.
but this
good
was
music,
this
right?
was pretty serious.
Every
I still
one or the
remember
other will think about quitting.
we were very
I know where
affected
this is
because
going.
the first album didn't actually had the reviews that we wanted, lah. Right? I remember that people were a lot of bands were against us. They were saying that we jumped on the bandwagon, followed followed the genres, the rap rock genre at that time, and we read those reviews of the album. We were quite upset. I remember
And then
sitting
we
in
got
one box,
banned.
right? And you guys, all of us, we were all reading
Yeah.
Tone magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think two things changed the I mean, I hope I'm speaking for everyone, but I think two things changed and kind of made that difference for us and the transformation. The first was obviously Japan. And I think the second was having proper management now, because you guys got sick of me managing the band, right? Because I was trying to manage the band and be, part of the band. And I lost a part of myself just trying to manage, and then at the same time go on stage and still be stressed out about managing the band. And I think that was when we met Yanis, who was always managing like rappers and hip hop acts, and then she met 5 boys and she had to manage a rock band. Gotta give give credits to her. She actually managed a rock band for a good 10 years,
Yeah, man. We met her at the Salem Cool
I think
Innovations.
the band management process, we were actually very lucky, because I don't think many bands get to have management that guides you and teaches you and knocks on your door and knocks your head and takes care of you personally, emotionally, financially, and so a good part of us being together, we know each other well, but I think she's kind of the glue that binds us all together, I have to say. So that's one of the longevities of us being in a band together, is also good management. So YZ International,
That's in focus.
She's
Yanis, let's go to her story.
Those stories.
Abnormal voltage should be the start of it.
Yanis, you can write a book. I told you. Be writing a book, Yeah, I mean, that's why I said, like, how was the band managed? Moots had actually like quite a tough time. You had to do everything. And Yanis came on board. I think there was like a whole different dimension.
Yeah. Still
That's
not
true.
used to it,
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would like to go back to that time where we got a lot of hate, actually. Like,
Okay.
but haters wasn't even a term yet, but we did got a lot of hate. I mean,
we were trolled.
Yeah,
I just remember our ROTTW was the band that everybody hated. Remember that?
Yeah, there's a cover, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but personally, like, that was also the turning point for me when I knew that I had to kind of like, this is the band I want to be in. No, because
that was
like,
I wanted to quit.
No, because like, when that whole thing happened, and then we had the whole ordeal with Point. He wants to take an approach. We want to take a different approach, but then we stick to our guns, and we literally went against the grain. We literally went out to kind of like not prove anyone wrong, but just kind of like, in a way, yes lah. We wanted to prove everyone wrong lah. So hopefully we did lah.
I guess what you're saying is you can't go any lower than that lah. We just had to go up. So that's why, like, you know what? At least after this is just going to be better. But
because if you look at it, it's like, we just got our first album. We started off with a major, and then we kind of like take a step back and say, it's like, hey, and this is amidst all the hate, and it's like we all took a step back and said, hey, let's start from scratch. Let's go out there and really shake all the hands that we need to shake. So that,
and I
was
think
like,
Uno mentioned that, because I think what we also did, which is unlike many bands, was we took production into our own hands as well. When JD actually JD was an apprentice for Greg when we started out recording that album, remember? Yes, you remember ROTTW. JD started as an apprentice, right? JD was
Yeah.
actually in
Yeah,
synchro,
Mm.
working with Greg
And assisting as well. Yeah.
Here and Now, and then that was essentially us realizing, hey, why don't we start our own studio? Why don't we put our money into something? And that's when we took Nick Lee's old studio, and that's where we look. Not many bands have the luxury of having probably 3 producers in the band, lah. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Everybody always relies on other people, but we've been blessed because the 3 of you, JD, AJ, and Uno, you guys are producers, and most of the music that we've ever produced in the album have always come from you guys. And JD is an engineer doing mastering, working with other bands. I think that's also that's also kind of like part of us that's kind of been like that offspring that we never really spoke about as much. So yeah.
Got something from Izal. It's pretty long.
That's long.
So I know a lot of the bands during our time, new guys at Epitome. You're just being nice, lah, Izal.
Izal's just being nice.
We love you. We love you, Izal.
Yeah. If AJ resigns, then we'll take you in.
Go ahead.
He's gonna quit live on
See ya.
I quit.
Yeah. So the studio, right? The studio we started 2008. It's been 12 years.
2005.
Yeah.
2005.
2005. Yeah.
2005, 15 years. Yeah.
15 years already. Yeah. It's coming up to 15 years this month. Yeah.
How many
So-
bands have you recorded, man?
Oh, well,
Thousands.
I mean, we've been very, very blessed. I think our mission when we first, started the studio was to, we wanted to give bands, independent bands, Malaysian independent bands, a chance to record, with good quality, but at a much more affordable price, lah. Right? So
Yeah.
of course, we came from that position. You see, we came from being a struggling band ourselves. Having to manage and to handle our own recordings. So I guess this was where naturally this was where my direction went through lah. So who else do we work with? We work with your brother's band, Estrange. Yeah. So
Frequency
Estrange-
Cannon, the other brothers band.
Yeah, the other brothers band as well. Bungface.
Bungface.
Yeah,
Bungface.
Hyperact, Six Sense, a lot of other, the whole wide range of
Honest Mistake.
and Honest Mistake there as well. Yeah, and even Teh Tarik Crew actually, connecting us back to Yanis again. So TTC's second album was recorded not here. It was still my home studio, and that's where the name 2105 comes from, because that's my old address. Yeah.
Yeah. And what this is his question. What do you think about the music scene today? Because you handle a lot of bands. What should bands do to reach to a certain level of success?
Well, if you ask me, like maybe 4 months ago, I would have a different answer.
Now.
No, it's like I have a lot of big question marks now. Everyone's kind of trying to readapt to this new normal. Obviously, there's no gigs, there's no concerts, there's no festivals. Some have only started transitioning to do online live streams and all that. So prior to the whole world going down the shitter, like pardon the expression, okay, our scene actually was doing really, really well. We probably had not seen, maybe you don't see it on like the top 10, top 20. It's not on mainstream radio, but the scene was doing very well. There's so many bands now, I just cannot keep track. So many bands were releasing singles, releasing not just singles, EPs and albums. There's so many in the out there right now. So, but now unfortunately, this situation is hard to say lah. Yeah, because of.
But is it easier? Let's put it this way. I want to ask: is it easier to reach success 10, 15 years back compared to now, because of saturation in that way?
Yeah, it's I think it works both ways. The tools and the platforms are easier, as it's easy to get your music out, it's easy to put your music out to an audience. But yes, attention spans are a lot shorter, and um guess when it still boils down to a lot of marketing, knowing how to do your promotions, and that's where I leave all the marketing and promotion to the Moots and the people who are in the label. I just handle production. I don't handle the marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look, I just used to deal with the labels, but I think Yanis did most of the work for us.
Yeah.
Like, I
thank
don't
you,
think
Yanis.
we would have gone to the States. I don't think we would have done World MTV World Stage and all if it wasn't for
yeah,
Yanis'
That was
pressure.
great.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was great.
I'll say that then. I mean, like in my book, Yanis is still the best manager ever.
The best.
Yeah, we love you.
Probably
We all
the best
decide
in
on
the
that.
world. You can deal with
Thank you for making
and
senses
everybody
to
else.
us.
So figure out why. I'll do a why. Why?
Why? We're the best group we ever managed, right? We're the best, right?
I think we're the only group. Then.
The nicest lah. She'd have a doubts about Uno and me, but I think the rest of you are okay.
Okay. Mean, should bands be full time or should it be part time?
Should never be full time. It's never full time. Unless you're a comedian who can do 350 per show and you work every day, 365 days, bands should never be full time. Because you've got 5 guys in a band, 6 guys, 4 guys, 3 guys, 400 ringgit, $400. How much is that? Right?
That's reality, lah, bro.
Actually,
I mean, but I mean, let me ask AJ, lah. Let's ask AJ.
All right.
Let's ask
Actually,
AJ.
right. Also, the DJ, like, in this perspective, Uno's probably the one who'll make most amount of money. But I think a band like us, it's never going to be the same, like guys. It's never going to be the same if any one of us changes in these five people, right? We always do shows. Rudy, I understand you've always been busy, and AJ has been busy, and Uno has been in a different part of the country as well. It's never been easy for us to do. But I think when the 5 of us are together, that's just us, right? And I think we have never recorded music if it's not been the 5 of us. True or not?
Of course,
That's where the magic happens, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always been, musically, we all know each other. We all know each other's, like, I think we're probably the band that knows how to, like, we know, like, AJ knows how Uno sounds, and Uno now knows how JD sounds, and JD knows how to record my vocals, and Rudy just knows how to drum for everyone, right? I think that's the beauty of us knowing each other for the last, like, 15 years.
I think it helps.
That's what. Yes, Yanis, we love you too. I think
as a band,
all said and done, the difference between touring and writing music, right? So I think writing music wise, I think we all know each other well. I think touring wise, it is what it is lah. Touring, right?
It's overtime. Yeah, Darren. I mean, it's always that question of like, hey, you do music, you got to be passionate, you got to be doing it full time, and don't worry about the money. But in reality, I think you got to strike a balance somewhere, lah. You want to do a band, think of a way to, I guess, survive first, then do the things you like. Yeah, that's passion there. I see passion there as well. So, yeah. Okay, this question.
biggest paycheck.
Old school rocker, right?
Really?
Is it?
What?
I can answer this because
Yeah, because you was it the F1 show?
Yeah,
The F1.
Celcom?
We should not name where it came from, but I guess the biggest paycheck was old school rocker. Yeah.
Oh, really?
For more of a synchronization reason than it was for anything else. So sometimes it's great if you write good music and you can get the music synchronized to TV. When I say synchronization, meaning it was used as a theme song for a TV show or theme song for for a campaign. That's where you really get your biggest paycheck. And
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, and I'm sure you guys know this as well. I don't know whether the song came out at the wrong time or what, but we never earned as much. In fact, we've hardly been earning
You're
from
talking about Mara
Marabahai.
Bahaya, right?
No, I wasn't talking about Marabahai. Our biggest paycheck has been Old School Rocker.
Yeah,
School
but
was,
yeah, but that's the thing. Like Mara Bahaya is for us. I guess you see that it's a big hit for us, right? But the amount that we earn,
Correct.
I don't
But
know.
Old School Rocker was a song that was used in a campaign for a very famous sporting event, and it was used for a year.
Yep.
Therefore, it led to more money being paid to all of us, right? And this was what 2007, 8.
I think
It's
six.
7, 6,
Six
right?
would be
Around
six.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was probably our biggest paycheck. And Marabahai came up 2009,
Yep.
right? So even though the song was big, it was used in a TV show, etc. But it never. Look, bottom line is this lah. We'll be performing this song till we die, but it was never the song that made us the most amount of money. That's it, right? Plain and simple.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah. And we're fair to each other because we split our royalties together, so everything is equal between the 5 of us. So it's easy. It's 20% all the way across. So whatever we earn. So we'll let you guys know when we actually earn some money from Marabahaya. So please keep covering the song, playing the song, and if there's budding, movie directors, song, whatever, producers, whatever, use the song in your show. We'll give you full rights, no problem. Just pay for the synchronization, publishing fees, no problem.
Yeah.
No issue.
And I think we peaked at a time
Why
where
did Uno cut it? That's exactly
Uno
what
cut
it was becoming falling apart, right?
I like this
Let
question.
Uno answer that.
Uno, you still got to answer lah.
No, wait. Hang on. Before we even go into why Uno cut his dreadlocks, I think we should go into why Uno got his dreadlocks and how long he got him to get his dreadlocks done.
What?
Right?
Why
Remember
did
that?
why did I?
Why did
Why
you
you
get
cut?
dreadlocks?
When do you get
No,
dreadlocks?
so when we were shooting the cover for our second album, EMI was like, look, you guys look probably like how we all look like this today. And it's like, you guys need to look different, right? So remember not, they said, Abang Rom Studios, big up to Rom to get our hair done. So I think Rudy and I were fine. I think we were both the only ones that were like kind of like, okay, I think our look is fine. Then AJ, JD had to get a perm and the full equipment. Then Uno had
5-6
I
hours.
want to get dreadlocks. Like milked it for like 5 days. We had to delay the photo shoot because Uno's dreadlocks were not done. But I have to say, he did a good job. He lasted for like what, 2 years, 3 years?
More. I mean, like,
bro.
more. I had it for at least 6 years. Yeah, 5-6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
So why did you cut it off? That's the question.
It was more of a. I mean, like when I first did it, obviously I wanted to milk the opportunity we had for that free, free do-up.
The free makeover, right?
Exactly. But I've always personally wanted dreadlocks because I idolize Rage, and at that point of time, Zach had dreadlocks. Yeah, so that was
because of Kilmore, more of an incubus thing, no?
DJ Kilmore.
Yeah, and more as well. But
Also
but it was primarily Zach because Zach has been such a big influence for me. So and then that was that one time. But then after that, I actually got another friend to do like my real hair. So it actually grew up outgrew that fake do and became a real dreadlock for 6 years. Then I cut it off because it got too hot and I got old.
I can't
Not
remember
just that.
Why did you cut it off?
That's when I cut it off. I think the second year I joined Astro.
But you cut it off when we were doing an album, right? You
I
cut it off
can't
when we were
remember
doing the
exactly.
XCR tour.
Yeah, I
Yes,
remember
yeah,
Was
before Hong
you had
Kong.
you didn't have it
Yeah,
for our freak show album,
no.
post
Freak
freak show,
Show,
right?
Freak Show, I
No,
still
Cherry
have it.
Blossom.
You still had it. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Hmm.
I still have
Yes,
for
yes,
Freak
yes,
Show.
yes, yes.
Yeah, Cherry Blossom. So I mean, like it
And you
was
had
more
it.
of like
Wow, you had it for like 6 years.
6 years. I mean, to be honest, I just didn't have the time to
Got
take
it?
care of it because
Yeah,
I mean, like
fair
with
enough.
dreadlocks, it's either you
Very hard,
really take time to take care of it, or you just let it rust and be natural and it'll be stinky as shit, you know. So they're the only two ways, and AJ would test to this because we lived together for a bit, you know.
Yeah,
So
man.
Yeah,
the time I took to actually take care of my scalp and the hair to make sure everything's in place, it's really is I mean time consuming.
Hmm.
yeah.
Very.
Let's see what is this. Ray
Oh, that's
says
yeah.
it's really hard to approach people to listen our song, and for me, one thing never give up. Yeah, Ray, just don't give up, lah. It's which we never did.
Just believe in your music, lah. That's what we did, I think.
Yeah, and then let's go on to Mohanjit. Some bands have faded after 5, 10 years in the scene. Was this due to mismanagement, poor marketing?
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
more due to change music scene lah.
A lot of factors, lah.
Yeah, a lot of factors. I mean, some
Yeah.
may be like marketing, some may be management, some may be like over money, some over different creative direction.
For
Yeah.
for most of the bands that I've seen, and because I see a lot of bands pass through, the doors, they record a few songs, a few EP, maybe one album, and after that they fade away. I would actually say one of the main reasons is just life, because
Yeah.
when they're younger, maybe they're still just out of college, haven't found a job yet. Then when they after a couple of years, 5, 10 years, they get married, have kids, and then the priority
Yeah.
just shifts to that. I think we experience that. It's just life. It's not everyone's meant to be in it for the long haul. And that's
Correct,
perfectly
correct.
okay. Yeah,
Thanks,
Yeah,
Kevin.
yeah.
I think the reason
Sorry.
we stayed
That's my
so
cousin
long.
lah. Kavin, what's up? Kavin, I have to say, has been supporting us from day one. I used to come for all our shows, support us.
Awesome, lah, Kevin.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
old school
Kevin.
rocker.
Thank you,
Actually,
Kevin.
an old school rocker. I remember that. That was just all of us randomly jamming,
Yeah,
That was
and
a
then
great song.
Uno came with the
I don't know. I like
dancing
it.
it on the turntables, right? Then
Yeah.
JD had this riff. That was just that magic.
Rabbit.
Bakri studio in Harkamas, bro. That's where we wrote that
Studio.
song.
That studio is. I mean,
legendary.
we spent quite some time there.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah.
It's being a band still about being musicians. Hey, Rabin, how are you doing? See you tomorrow. I guess so. I mean, if you want to be in a band, you have to have some skills. So, I mean, musicians nowadays are dime a dozen. It's like anyone can be a musician if you have a laptop and you do a Billie Eilish, you're a musician. But I guess right now, for the 5 of us, being in a band has always been about brotherhood. It wasn't like, okay, you're the best, so that's why you're in the band.
Yeah.
I know that's how I feel about it. We grew with each other. We know each other's strengths, weaknesses, so we manage. We are not the best of the musicians, but we make the best of it, and we feel like we make the best song at moment at the level that we are at. So I mean, hope we answered that question, lah, Rabin. I don't know. What do you think? Moots?
I think being in a band, like everybody always says, yeah, you got to be musicians in a band. But I think Rudy said it right. Being in a band is about being friends, a brotherhood. It's different. It's like a clubhouse lah. It's like a club, You're in this
Mickey
little
Mouse
club
Clubhouse
with a
lah.
bunch of friends. You know what I mean? Not what? Which club?
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse lah.
Mickey Mouse Club lah. Yeah, it's like a club lah. You're with a whole bunch of friends, but obviously in this clubhouse you need to have the dynamics of like ABCD lah, MICKEY, right? So you have to have the full dynamics that fits within it. You can't have like three guitarists saying, okay, let's form a band. It doesn't work that way, right? So musicians will be part of a band, but I don't think they will become a band. Like I think a band is more than just musicians, which is why I think I wouldn't want to put us in the league of these guys, but that's why people like, Aerosmith and Rolling Stones have lasted a lifetime, and there's a lot of other bands like even Hujan and all that have been there. Love Me Butch. Like you never see Meng rocking Love Me Butch with anyone else other than Sharol. You'll never see some of these bands going out there because you never see OAG without Rudy, right?
Correct.
And you never see a lot of bands are where they are because of what they are and who they are. And I think for us, we are friends and brothers before we are anything
First and
else.
foremost, yeah,
Aaron,
that's important.
Yeah,
Aaron
the synergy
used
lah,
to
right? The
Aaron
synergy.
used to take photographs of our concert. Remember?
Similar.
yeah, Aaron did our
Aaron.
album cover, didn't he? Aaron
Cimarron.
did Cherry Blossom Love Affair.
No. He came for
Different
some
one,
of our shows.
No, there was Martin.
Yeah. The Cherry Blossom was Martin.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Aaron,
Okay.
didn't you follow us to Japan? Didn't he? Was
Yeah. Aaron
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
Japan.
that
He won
guy.
that competition.
Yes,
Ah,
won the competition.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
Udo's
we
dreadlock kit?
don't miss.
What is that, Udo? Tell us about that.
Was it?
No,
What's in
it's
it?
an entire kit. So there's like the scalp spray, the coconut scalp spray, and then the kit where you actually like there's like what do you call it? Like the tools, There's like sticks and there's like sikat and whatever not lah, just to kind of like maintain the hair. But mostly like a special type of shampoo, It's an entire kit actually.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
I
see what's
need to
next.
remember that.
Guys have their problems as well. Yeah, our struggles.
Someone who grew up in a rural area like me, often my school friends refer to music preferences. And when I listen to Pop Shuvit, the entire circle of friends listen to you. And it's nice to know the rural areas, Farah, thanks. This kind of like, it's been how many years? Like so many, almost like 2 decades, right? But when we hear this kind, I think it really actually feels good.
Right? This should be our 28-year anniversary, end of the year.
Yeah. True. It's a
Right?
19-year, right?
This would be, I think October would have been 20 years since we released
Man.
Take It and Shove It.
You guys remember the first time you hear Jam on the radio?
Oh,
No, I
man.
don't
remember
actually.
Yeah,
Don't.
that's 2000.
I have no idea. Do you remember the first time?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
weren't you?
I
how
don't
you were so-
remember at all.
You're like so proud
don't
of it.
remember
I was
at
like,
all.
yes. It's like, yes, I heard it on radio. And then we had a cassette.
I think for me it was when I actually had that CD that had the jump and and it had like that the CD was there.
Will there be a documentary for Pop Shuvit? Ahmad Rauf, how are you doing? Well,
What's up,
I
Rauf?
think we have done
If
like
there's enough controversy to share and make a Netflix show out of it, then yes. I think Uno is gone to get the single. Where he ran off to. There, you
When
got the
is it?
single, right? Did you just grab the single, Uno?
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
Oh,
cassette.
Wait,
Uh,
I'm gonna go get some.
Oh, I'm gonna get something too.
I don't have the cassette,
JD got a lot in the studio.
I got all the masters.
Got supply there.
JD probably has
Yeah.
it. JD,
They-
getting something or get it?
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah.
something.
Man,
So,
you remember like the
Yeah.
whole thing is like a lot of us like I don't know for you guys, but for me it's like the first time like writing the you get to write something for the cover, right?
yes, yes.
Oh
Your
yeah.
thank yous, right?
Thanks.
Wow, that was such a big deal, man.
Even the girl on the cover is we use a friend, Payan, so she's like, that's how many
Yeah.
years ago?
I think we were listening to it, Rudy. Yeah. in the car when first time we heard the thing. We were listening to
Yeah.
the album, or was it? It was on the radio. I think that was the
But
first time I heard
that
it.
that cassette, right? I mean, quality wise, if you play it now, how would it be? Would it be still intact
Oh yeah.
production?
I mean, I don't have a player right now, like but the sound should be okay. But if you're talking about the level of, I mean, like,
That was
Yeah.
the single cover. Yeah.
Jump,
Can I
right?
say more? That was the first ever cover that we
Single.
had.
This is the first ever release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Jump.
that one.
Correct,
And
man.
then I have to give it up because all of this was illustrated by Point, right? So Point did actually
Yep.
all the
Yeah.
illustration. This
Yep.
is the Skill Test single.
Thanks, Point.
Thanks. Paul.
And we actually released skaters for the first time online. We didn't actually. We were the first when everybody was doing releases on CDs. We actually released Skaters Anthem online
As
for free,
downloadable, right?
Mm.
right, for download.
How long still you guys think bands will exist? Will bands with instrument one day extinct?
Actually, we
Hmm.
were the first when everybody was doing releases of.
What's that?
What's that? Ini mesti AJ
I'll
ni.
read this to answer lah.
AJ ni.
AJ,
What?
Calm down.
answer the question lah.
Answer the question. Will bands with instrument one day extinct?
who wants to
What
answer
do you
this?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's the
Yeah.
experience.
I think if you only have a narrow exposure to what's on Billboard Top 20, you might think so. But if you actually look at the grassroots, you see there's so many talented young kids who pick up instruments. I think Rudy can attest to that, right? You see all these videos of amazing 6-7-year-old kids who can play drums like crazy, who can shred on their guitar. It shows that instruments are still very, very relevant to this day. Yeah.
And I mean, this brings back to this one question. Was music education a big part of us in recording and performance? I mean, JD, I know you studied music, performance, production engineering, whatever.
Mhm.
But the rest of us, we didn't.
That's true.
Me and Moots and AJ, I think we took business. We all were business students. So when it comes to this, I think right now, I don't know, maybe at that point in time, we just wanted to play lah. But if we actually learn the theory and relatives, I don't know if actually there would be some difference in the way we approach music. Not too sure. JD.
Well, because if that would be more of from a very academic point of view, right? So yes and no. I mean, myself, because that's what I studied. I studied music. I studied music production and all that. So obviously, I took those skill sets and applied it to us. You see, I applied it to, well, it was a perfect combination lah. I got to play in an awesome band. I get to record ourselves. I got to produce, got to mix and master our own stuff. But I think it needs to go back even further. I think to expose our younger kids actually to music
Actual music lah.
at the earlier stage, because I think the seed was actually planted in me way beyond that. Because when I was a kid, my parents, I guess typical urban Asian parents lah. They want to send their kids to music lessons. You see, so I went for music lessons a couple of years, but in the end I kind of quit, lost interest. But the seed was there, that's planted. So I think that's an important thing that we need to implant in our kids, in our youth, the next generation.
I totally agree, because I mean, both my kids are like, as much as I play drums, I try to get them on the drums, but when you try to get them on the drums, they'll say, nah, and then so I just get a piano and put it in front in the dining area, living area, so they just go and play, and slowly but surely they pick it up themselves. Every day they're doing it. and I think lessons really help. I mean, in this era, if you start them off very early, right, 5 6 years old, I think it really helps. That's why I'm doing. That's why I believe like Music Mountains platform, right?
Where you see there, up there.
Online
Music
lessons. Yeah, Music Mountains. So I believe that this will stand for a long time. Digital is the way to go, lah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
It has to now.
I think stepping out of this, I think you don't have to have a music education to really start a band, right?
Yeah.
I mean, music education as well. Everything is about playing an instrument. It's about learning production. There's being an engineer. I mean, look at Zayn and Anthony. They came from ICOM. They were engineers as well. They were not musicians. They learned an instrument, but they all built their careers off becoming engineers at the end of the day. So I think music is many aspects of it. Would you encourage your own kids to form a band? I guess if they are interested.
They want to. lah.
Did our parents encourage us to form a band?
No.
Your dad did.
Directly.
He's dead. Well, you gotta give credit to Uncle Malik lah.
Yes.
Your dad was very encouraging.
My dad was there to support our shows.
Uncle
I
Malik
think my
was
dad
there.
was there to support the shows for at least 50, the first 50 or first 100 shows lah.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, lah,
Every
I
show.
think one of our parents that was there to fully support us. I have to say, Rudy's dad and mom, Uncle Malik was there through in throughout. Plus, yet 2 sons in 2 bands.
Yeah. 2 other bands.
Right?
Yeah.
Estranged.
Yeah, 2 other bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. This next question. Oh God.
Then we go. What's experience?
It's going to tell you when you
Well,
go
the
to.
first thing is you tell it to bring the right AC adapter.
AC adapter.
Connection.
That's when you tour overseas. Yeah.
Overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
You know,
no one knew, right? No one knew.
We all
And
planned
you know when
already.
I did. I had no issues
yeah.
with voltage.
I don't think there's ever been such a thing as a
the toilets
I
lah,
still
bro.
have it,
Toilet.
bro.
it's literally just an experience, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's no such
my
thing as a
worst
worst
one was
experience.
I could.
The
I
ones
mean,
that you can remember me is memorable, right?
it's memorable. I mean, you think about it now, you laugh at it.
I still keep it, man. I still keep it.
There you go. Bruno made a belt out of that and some massive like AC adapter.
Yeah.
I think maybe probably for us as a band, the most challenging experience was when we had to leave JD in between our flight to US.
Wow, that was
Remember
crazy.
that?
Yeah,
So-
that was
Okay.
Oh well.
So
He
this
lost
was
his
our
passport.
first tour.
Yep.
Like TMJ. While we were heading there, it was a flight via
To New York.
Qatar or
To
Qatar lah,
Doha,
Doha
yeah.
lah.
Doha.
Doha,
Yeah.
Doha.
Right, so we were stopping over. And,
Come.
There's like, what?
I'll relate. I'll relate that. That's yeah.
including the production crew, and then JD is just like, I don't have my passport,
Yeah.
right?
I'll relate
Suddenly.
that story because we were transiting right to another plane in Doha International Airport. So we're transiting, we're carrying all our stuff, carrying our gear, at a pouch where passport and all that. So somehow in all the hecticness of carrying all our stuff and everything, it fell out of my bag. So by the time we were supposed to check in and go to security, there was like, I don't have my passport. It's like it's missing,
So we had to
So,
make a split-second decision, and that was like everyone plus Yanis was
Oh,
there.
no.
We had to make that call on the spot. Like, do we all stay here, or do we get on that flight? But
Leave me
you know,
here? Yeah.
you look at options, right? So the lesser of the impact of what's going to happen for us at that point in time was the worst case scenario is we're going to lose JD.
Get another
Right?
guitarist
But
from
we
New
had
York.
to make sure that everything else was fine everywhere. So tour had to happen, And I remember just all of us just getting on that plane because it was another 14 hours, right, to
Yeah.
get to New York. And I remember getting on, and JD was like, they took
We
care of
contacted
you. They took
we
care of
contacted Jennifer
you.
Thompson,
He
right?
arrived literally just 7 hours later. We were back in the rehearsal studios and rock and rolling like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, that
I
was
think props up.
that-
Who was it? Jennifer Thompson?
we did. I think Yanis, I think, did contact her to see what we could help. You see, because
Yeah.
the worst case was they had to sort of deport me back to Malaysia first, then sort out my passport, visa again,
Yes,
and then take fly over. But fortunately, they ground
They
crew, ground
found the
staff,
passport on the
they found
bus
it.
that JD had left
Yeah,
off, and they had actually pulled his luggage off. So I think kudos to the
yeah,
airlines and their
yeah.
system
Indeed.
at that point in time to make everything
Yeah.
happen. But yeah, us being paranoid as we are, we were worried about everything, and we made sure we checked to make sure JD was not as JD got back home safely, right?
In the end, it all worked out, lah. Yeah.
Next question.
I'll leave you, Uno, to answer this question.
Oh, yeah.
Funny, oh. What's the question again? Who asked this? Oh,
Because I mean, broadcasting wise, I've never really
Broadcasting.
been front end for a long time, so you're probably better at answering this, right?
Yeah, I think like the industry as a whole did what it can. Obviously, there was a lot more that could be done. Yeah, I think okay, to relate this back to our story. Okay, one of the things that I feel like for me, I'm personally like felt very blessed of our journey is that not so much we had that whole journey of signing up to a major label, then taking ourselves back and then starting up from scratch, but at the same time we also learned a lot from each other in the sense that we became brothers and friends and like a lot of other aspects of life as well, so in this sense what we did as a band, like we took ourselves out from the major because we were there, we consciously wanted to learn the ins and outs of the business. So we got to a point where we felt like, okay, we can handle our own production, we know a bit of here and there, and then Yanis got on board, right? At that time as well, me and Moots joined the broadcast industry. So I got a taste of like I get to see what happens behind the scene, right? So it's chicken and egg, right? So the industry as a whole, I felt did what they did, they did a lot actually, but a lot more could be done, definitely, I mean, you have like say like hits Met 10, that platform helped us a lot, right?
Yep.
So we came from a band who was helped by that platform, and then me going into like I joined Hits, so going into that particular organization, seeing how it was done, what is being done, how everything is approached, and having an understanding of why such is such. Okay? So I didn't go back and say like, man, this like actually it enlightened me to know it's like, hey, actually there is a way, so a lot of the misconception that I think right now that or back then the scene had was like, okay, you got to know someone to get on this, to get on that platform, to be on the radio or to be whatsoever, right? But it's not really the case. If your music is good, your music is good, same as now. Eventually people will discover it. You just gotta keep at it and you keep on promoting it and be persistent with it. Really. So let's say we had been like on the AIM platform. Net10 was a big platform that helped us out, right? So over the years when I was with Net10 and with Moots as well, so we see how the platform, like that particular platform, helped a lot of other acts as well. But okay, if I were to put it if I were to put it like my understanding, my personal understanding, right? When we first started out, like we were trying to find our footing, and then we thought all our music was good.
Mhm.
Okay? But as you mature, as you go into, let's say, when it comes to radio per se, playlist, back
Yeah.
then, right? So we have like the industry somehow had the unseen obligation to push the music to be on par with the international standard.
Mhm.
So that could be like in quality, in in arrangement wise. So it's like when you play it side by side, it's level, is it?
Mm.
And a lot of the bands back then, a lot of the musicians back then, I mean, like either they didn't know or they choose to ignore this. What do you think,
Yeah.
Moots?
And
I think yeah. I mean, it's gonna come down fundamentally to what you are requesting from the broadcasting industry, right? Like
Yeah,
back in the day, if you were a successful artist, it was hard to become an artist. It was dime a dozen, right? So you had to do your. Today I was just listening to um, who's the girl that wrote Amy Winehouse. And I was just
Yeah.
thinking about her career, right? And I was just like flashing by, like I didn't watch the documentary, but I was just thinking about it and just thinking like when she wrote Rehab, that was like her pivotal moment for herself, not wanting to be an artist, but the whole world and industry was taking her in, right? I
Embrace.
think we all as artists, we all as musicians have a very simple goal in mind. There's nobody out there that's telling us, oh, I don't want to be famous. Then you shouldn't be in this industry lah. You don't want to be famous, you don't want to be recognized, then don't do this. You want to be behind the scenes writing music. You're still going to be famous if you write a great song like Bruno Mars, Megan Trainor, all these guys who've written hits that have
Mhm.
won Grammy awards and eventually gone in the front, or even the guys behind the scene from Timbaland or Pharrell. If you're telling me you want to be in the music industry and not be one of these guys, like, then there's something wrong there lah. That means you're just doing it just for the fun of doing it. But if you're writing music to make a recognition in the industry, then yes, I agree with Uno. There's a certain amount of like there's a checklist lah. You got to tick, right?
mm,
You got to tick if you need to be in this checklist. You got to be this. Nowadays, there's everything from having a great social platform, social presence, whether you're hot on TikTok or this, that, whether your song is hot on TikTok. I think it is probably harder now than it
yeah,
was when we started out. I do believe. I think it's harder now to be an artist than it was when we started out because all we did was get together, jam, go out there, make
Do shows.
friends, put shows together. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? As friends, and just write music and then find ways to record it. I do believe it's tougher now. I won't deny it. It is harder. And what kind of marketing? Yeah, everything. Marketing is everything. Like you should get on all platforms. Like most importantly, I guess, is YouTube lah. YouTube is essentially where you can probably put your music out. You as an artist now, you can put your music out on all platforms: Deezer, Spotify, KKBox, Jukes, even
Yeah.
Apple. So it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's there. But the question now is, how do you get people to listen to your music, right? It's
Mhm.
like, you know, like you can have music out there, but you're stuck in your bedroom. You're not going out there making friends and creating a group together and putting gigs together. I think that's essentially what needs to happen right now. You need to just go out there and gig and create a fraternity. Like, and I'm sure even a lot of the new artists that most of us know, they still gig one. AJ, this is something you need to talk about. Like you're right there in the
Yeah,
hub of
but
everything with everybody playing, performing from the musician's point of view, right?
yeah. I mean, in my case, right now, I'm like playing a lot of the kind of stuff that people usually don't hear on radio, and still you somehow still want to market those kind of music, and it's
Mm.
good that we have all this kind of social media and but the most thing is that when you really try to get a really good music, you wanna especially now because you don't sell albums, also you gotta go out there and perform, try to get as many gigs just like what we used to do back then. I mean, we played everything. Some of the gigs they weren't literally nobody there, right?
Yeah.
And it was just bands. So we were watching ourselves only. So end of the day, you still gotta get out there and play, and people will hear. They will request your songs. Like right now, you Spotify lah, whatever, play on YouTube. It's still kind of the same. It's just there's more avenues now, and you might miss a couple of them. Like I think most people won't go to like KK Box or something like that. So
Yep.
market.
Yeah,
But here's the
market
paradox.
marketed. I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. I think you need all aspects of how you can actually make this work.
Image.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
But
holistic
here's
thing.
correct.
Mm.
But here's the paradox. I mean, like in all essence, I agree with Moots. The fundamental, the essence of things have not changed. Yeah, there have been
Yep.
more avenues. Barrier of entry has been lowered. It's easier to put your music out there. But when you have things easy, then it'll get flooded, and now it's saturated. So it's back to square one to most people. So it goes back to like hard work, perseverance. Just getting your hands dirty and go out there. Post MCO, I guess.
Post MC.
Everyone just needs to put in the hard work. If you're in a band, if you're a musician, look, there's so many opportunities now that we didn't have 20 years ago when we started out. I think there's more opportunities now for everyone. Whether you're a songwriter, whether you're a musician, video director, graphic designer, producer, engineer. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there. But hey, Music Mountain is here. If you guys need any consult, hit up Music Mountain. Production wise, Rudy, AJ, and Uno are there, and JD as well, most importantly. And Rudy's there to guide you in the right direction. So, yeah, I think it's 10, 11, right? I got to go to sleep.
Then you got two more questions
Okay,
before
what's the question?
go to
Okay.
sleep. It's an early sleeper.
I think it was, right? We made. Okay, so I'll you know what? I'm not going to answer this question. I'll not answer it. I'm answering all the questions already. But I can add on to this answer.
Yeah, JD and AJ like.
Sorry.
This question, being in a band,
Being in a
Was it
band, was it ever financially worth the time?
Financially. Okay. I missed that word.
Was it ever
Especially now.
financially worth the time?
I think
but I
let's
well,
put it this way, lah. We've been around for almost 2 decades. Whatever we've done, yeah, you get your paydays, you get your off days, but eventually you build you build your experience, you build your resume, for you to get jobs out there, for you to meet new people, make new opportunities, make businesses, right? So I think that itself, it ties in back to being in a band in the first place.
Yeah.
Being in a band brought us to where we are right now, right? It gives us
Together,
that extra
especially.
leverage, that branding that we have. Oh, these guys are from Pop Shuvit. And Moots is good at this, Uno is good at this, AJ is good at this, JD is good at this. So it branches us out into different areas that we can actually master in. So I think at the end of the day, it's worth the time. It just we moved on to better things, but at the same time, always remembering that hey, the band was the one that actually got us all here.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I think.
I don't remember we always had a goal. Like the
Yeah.
goal was always to win a Grammy award, and we always used to have these little minor goals to reach it. The Grammy hasn't hit yet,
Still
but
waiting for it.
but touring the US was one of that, right? So when we
Yeah.
were, every time we had a show or anything, we always put a little bit aside for us to be able to finance our tours, and I think that was important for us. So it was
It was never really about the money.
that's a double-edged
At
sword.
first.
Financially worth the time. It was worth the time to be in the band to make the money, but financially for us, it was never something that we all at that point in time survived on, right? There was everything that everybody,
Yeah.
you and I,
All of us
running
had our
studio,
day jobs. We
you
all had our
were
own areas.
especially, you were doing a whole bunch of things before you even joined Astro at that point in time. And I think we all made it a point to make sure that whatever we control financially, and I think even Yanis was there to kind of make that dream happen for us by opening the doors. We didn't have a label. We were our label, right? We didn't have a publisher. We were our publisher. The only thing we had was, us as a fam, as a band, and then we had Yanis as our manager, and we had whatever we saved up because we wanted to make the dreams come true. We wanted to go and tour with My Chemical Romance. Remember that? Like even that was ridiculous, right? Because we didn't have a label. Like we had to be our own label to finance that tour to go to Asia, right? Remember that? And then, oh no, I remember we were like so stressed trying to just get that thing up
The
over,
money. Yeah.
and then getting permits, and it was not easy. And then,
Mhm.
next level was doing the States, and I think before Project AR even kicked off, I think we kind of, did that whole CMJ tour planned out, and I think that was it for us. And I think EAR is kind of like the future of where we're going to be. So I'm kind of, segueing into the question as well. Like it is us, but I think there will still be Project EAR stuff coming out. There's an album coming out, but I think there'll still be Pop Shuvit content coming out at the end of the day. I don't think that's going to run away. We're still Pop Shuvit. Project EAR is all our great friends, Jamie, Dandy, Emmett, especially Daniel, Meng, Ryan, and is anyone else I'm missing out? That's it,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, of course. I mean, the extended family, you got Titanium and Say Loco, and you've got, you know, everyone,
Um,
like everyone we've ever met. I mean, that's what Project ER is, right? It's essentially
yeah.
us as a family, and it's something that we've always created. It's always great music, and I think it's always fun writing music with new friends. It started out MTV Awards, we put that together back then. Jared Leto introduced us, and that's how we started.
Yeah.
Done. And now maybe the next step after this would be maybe Pop Shavit needs to get back together and put some music out. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, it's time will tell.
Yeah.
AJ and Uno are actually back in the studio. I always see them over there
Mhm.
working on
Ah.
some stuff. I wonder what they're working on.
Yeah.
Secret.
Why not?
Secret,
We've
huh?
got some stuff coming up. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got some stuff coming up.
That's good. So you'll always hear stuff out from the boys at some point or another. And then maybe there will be a Pop Shavit single coming out soon. The ER album, I guess, will be coming out. Maybe it should just be released in 2021 since we've released it. So let's
I
push it
think that'll
back.
be wise. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can write a few more based on that, since Ray and James are asking us to write stuff. So yeah, we never know. Things are, I guess, the way it is. I don't know, Rudy, Uno, JD, AJ, do you guys want to like kind of wrap this up?
Yeah. I mean, it's great to all five of us to be here. We don't really do this often, right? I mean, we don't do this enough. Recapping what
Actually,
we did
we're all
and
living together for a long
yeah,
time.
Long
seriously.
time.
And I think the
Yeah.
effort of us being here, having this kind of talk for over an hour, I think it's just great, recapping our career and what we did. And I think it's actually we hope that whatever we said helps the new generation of bands out there. I'm myself, I'm building up Music Mountain. I believe that the online music education is the way to go. And we're going to do that. We're building up the new school of drums first before we go into the other instruments. So it's going to be exciting over the next few months. We've got a lot of work to do. I'm working with Ryan and Jimmy on this. So, I mean, the rest of you, of course, Uno, Moots, JD, and AJ will be working together again soon, whether it's on an
Yeah.
album, whether it's with Music Mountain, and on any other production, whatever it is. I know we will be doing something. It's always that way.
Actually, to be honest, everything you've ever heard from Project AR and probably the last two Pop Shuvit albums have always been remotely recorded. It's always been online. Uno was in East Malaysia for the longest time. AJ, I have no idea which part of China you were in, and everything was always controlled in JD's studio. So I think we're one of those testimonials towards bands who record remotely. Like, we're never in the studio together. Let's be honest, right? I don't think the last time the
Nowadays,
five of us have actually been in the studio together is probably when we were recording Amped and Dangerous, right?
True.
Spending our time listening to everybody else and this, that. But everybody has their own lives, everybody does their own thing. So I think working remotely, recording remotely, this is the time of the future. And what better than and everybody in this group right here. I mean, Uno produces at home, AJ, JD has the studio, Rudy as well. It's the perfect opportunity for anyone who needs to work remotely. This is how it's going to work.
Yeah. So I think it's like it's been over an hour and 20 minutes. It's quite. I don't know. I had fun talking to you. Maybe I'll just end this with the video, the lockdown video we did with Mara. Or do you want to play Disappear? I'm not too sure. What do you think? You can choose.
disappear.
Anyone, I'm okay.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
do
good with anything.
anyone.
So choose. Make a choice. Disappear or Mara.
Play
Disappear
Mara.
lah.
Let's pick Mara. Mara. Most people want to hear that.
Yeah. Let's
Who?
go with
What?
Mara.
Mara or
This
what?
is actually the start
Let's
of the
go with
lockdown,
Mara.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me a
just at
second.
the start of MCO.
Literally, like,
Hey,
actually,
disappear was
I
a
have
hard
a
one
question.
for me to record lah.
Who initiated this idea to do this?
What?
You're right. I can't remember.
Good question.
Because
Me?
you were
You
doing
need
your
to play lah, bro.
doing your
Me
stuff.
lah.
Yes, lah. But I
Just
don't even know why we did this. Like,
I have no idea. Okay, let's
Yeah.
just.
oh, it was Rockaway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Oh
from-
yeah.
Yeah, so it was a Rockaway challenge. We had to record this song, and then was it
OBS lah.
Trophy Night? No, Trophy Night. Trophy Night
Oh
was the
yeah.
one.
Correct.
It was a
yes.
response. It was like you
Yeah, I can't hear the
respond
song,
to the
bro.
previous band that requested something like that.
Yeah.
Is it playing?
Ryan's band lah, I think, wasn't it?
It's a bit soft.
Too soft.
That's our studio where JD is performing in.
That's fun.
I obviously didn't get the memo, so I was like,
Why Dandy didn't do the his verse? Huh?
he had
He was
he got the
he was down somewhere.
shingles.
Oh yeah, he had
And mums and like chicken pox. He like had the
yeah.
work, so he was out for like 3 weeks because of that. So we had to like do it anyway.
This was, I think, the beginning of the MCO. Just a week after, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, when everybody was still sane, I guess.
This is on the Project ER YouTube or Pop Shuvit YouTube.
This one is on actually.
It's on our Facebook.
It's on my Rudy Pop Shuvit YouTube account because I uploaded earlier, but I kept it unlisted. So I think I just made it public.
Oh,
So I just
okay.
picked it up. I didn't have a time. Didn't have time to go and linked it to the Pop Shuvit account.
Maybe we can leave a link in the comments for them to go and check it out lah.
I think after the live session, then we'll leave all the links. But I mean, JD, good job. I mean, you're taking audio files from everywhere and then you're mixing it remotely.
Yeah, so
There we go.
Yeah.
Jeremy. Wait, so it's John Lennon.
John
Yes.
Lennon and
Who's
who?
the other on the right?
I don't know. Who's the guy on the
Isn't that
left?
Chris? Isn't that not Chris
Yeah,
Cornell?
that
Oh.
is Chris Cornell. Lah. Who's the guy on the right? That's Jamie.
Isn't that looks like Elvis Presley to me?
Is it? No lah, where got Elvis
Oh.
Presley?
No.
Behind the John Lennon, I think.
I like that.
Yeah, it was fun recording this. Which Dandy was in it?
Yeah.
So this was, even though so many bands are doing recording remotely now because under lockdown and all that, but this wasn't actually new because we've, like Moots mentioned, we've been doing this for a long time. Especially,
Yeah.
I think it started with Freak Show because we featured so many different people. We featured like rappers, Big Pooh, Legacy. We had even Inspector Deck. So all the tracks were all from all over the world, you see, from different people. Dandy will record in Thailand, Jamir will record in Manila.
We all write Bina Berries lah. Even when we're recording Project AR, there's like 5 songs happening at the same time in like 3 different studios, right?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I think we had a good time doing that, lah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, let's just look at any other questions. All right, cool. Everyone's done. And it was a great time. I just want to say thank you to all the audience, everyone. Thanks, Moots, Uno, JD, AJ. It's pretty late, but
Thanks
yeah,
everyone.
I think this is
Thank
like
you guys. Love you boys, man.
the best chat we
Miss
have
you
ever
guys.
had. Okay, hey, thanks guys again. See you guys. Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much, man. See you. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Peace.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good photo. Good photo.
Hey, group photo.
Hey,
Okay.
good photo.
I also want the group photo lah.
Screenshot. How you screenshot?
All right, I got it.
Send over.
Okay.
Send it out to us.
See ya, man. Bye bye.
See you boys.
Okay,
guys.
bye.
Night.